Wuthering Waves is a better game than Genshin Impact, all the reason why. Now, guys, I know what you're thinking. Before I watch this video, a lot of people are going to say that I'm going to disagree that Wuthering Waves is good and Genshin Impact is bad. I saw this top voted post on my YouTube channel the other day, and I wanted to talk about this. You know, I read the comments. I do read every single comment. There's actually been a lot more positivity lately, which has been great. Been very good. There was this video right here, and the comment was, literally every Tectone clickbait video now, which the reason why they use the word clickbait is due to the fact that it has a negative connotation. Rather than just say video, we got to say I'm clickbaiting, which I'm just quite literally not clickbaiting. Every single time there's a title of my video, it's because it's my genuine feelings, and then the video inside reflects upon the title. Right? And you can show me where the clickbait is, but you just quite literally can't. It's me talking about the topics at hand in my title or my thumbnails. There's no clickbait here. What you mean to say is Tectone's good thumbnails, even though a lot of people like to talk my thumbnails. People say, ZZ, oh my God. HSR, oh my God. Wua, oh my God. Genshin, upset. Yeah, you want to know why? Because these 3 games are good and this one game is bad. Does that make me disingenuous? No, it absolutely doesn't. Now, you can pretend that it does, but the reality is Genshin sucks fucking balls. Are you going to tell me that it's bad for me to like 3 other games and I'm being fake and hypocritical because I don't like the one game that's not good? Like, bro, these people want to give me like a caught moment so much it's pathetic, so much they're willing to forego their own logic. Bro doesn't like Genshin Impact. That means he's disingenuous. No, bro, the game's bad. And here's the thing, man. It's always been bad. Pretty much. Game good at launch. Game fell off after Dragonspine. Game good at Inazuma. Game fell off maybe like 2 or 3 patches after Inazuma. Sumeru, for me, didn't like it. Heard other people loved it. I'm not other people. I can't enjoy it as those people who enjoy it because I'm not those people. Hated Sumeru. Skipped the entire thing. Watched lore summaries. Fontaine. Fontaine is the best Genshin Impact ever was. Incredible. Fucking incredible. Filler patch happened. It kind of pissed me off. Left. Finished it. 4.2, I think, was good. Yo, Mr. Pokey, I appreciate you, dog. The #1 Genshin shill. But the reality is that Genshin Impact Sumeru was fucking mid. The Archon looks fucking mid. It's another, oh man, look at this. I'm so serious. Friendship is magic moment. And people are going to say, oh, well, you haven't played it. Well, I've watched enough trailers to know that it's pretty much a Friendship is Magic update. I don't really like how the Nation of War really isn't a Nation of War. And it just seems pretty fucking lame. Now, I could go back and maybe it's the best thing ever, but I'm pretty sure if I did, nobody would really give a fuck because I'll be real. People aren't really giving that much of a fuck besides Genshin players. And I don't play games to appease communities. I play games to appease me. And yeah, the game just looks pretty fucking mid. My opinion. Let's watch this.
Wuthering Waves is a better game than Genshin Impact. Yup. I said what I said.
Bald.
In this video, I'm going to tell you all the reasons
Who the fuck is this Baldy? Solus, okay?
why I think that is. Now,
3.1 thousand likes. Damn, actually a 10% like to dislike ratio. Very interesting.
before anybody comes for me, which I realize is going to happen anyway,
Sure.
I want you to know that I have played both games
You said Genshin bad, which was a massive target on your back.
extensively, and I've spent over 3 times as much money in Genshin Impact than I have in Wuthering Waves.
Okay.
I have my Raiden Shogun at C2, and I don't care how bad the meta is for freeze teams, Kamisato Ayaka will always have a special place in my heart. But today,
Yeah,
I want to tell
Ayato's
you
burst
about
was
all
sick.
the things that I can come up with where Genshin Impact just quite honestly falls short when compared with Wuthering Waves. And if your first response back to me is something about the Sensory Tower revenue reports,
Yep.
just go ahead and stop, because I don't take into account how much money a gacha game has bamboozled players into spending in what, for all of them, are very predatory pricing models. I'm
I
not
agree.
taking into account any of that as far as the quality of any individual game. But hey,
Yeah, that's like saying that a movie ticket, the movie's going to be better if you pay $20 for a movie ticket rather than $5 for a movie ticket. Doesn't matter how much a game makes. It only matters how good the actual game is. Doesn't matter how predatory their prices are.
first, if you're new here on my channel,
You want to know why Wuthering Waves isn't making that much money? Because it gives everything away for fucking free. Like, I'm sure Wuthering Waves could break 20 million if they actually just really tried to push for monetary gain. But the reality is they're releasing 1 character a patch. They still haven't done skins. And they gave away so much free revenue during the first month that people kind of just didn't break the initial first purchase, which is the most important thing for any gacha game to actually have, is make players spend once. If you make a player spend once, they're much likely to spend twice. So they kind of fucked themselves on launch, which, to be fair, their servers were shit, for not me, but for other players. And they gave away a lot of free stuff. Kind of fucked them, but we'll see. I fully believe in Wuthering Waves 2.0 to really revamp the game.
what's up? I'm Solus, and I make videos about gacha games. Guides, news, just whatever I feel like making. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it.
Bald.
All right, now let's get into today's video.
Bald.
The first thing on my list is going to be
Bro's
how
bald.
generous the developers are for what.
Guys, hold up. I can't even focus. Guys, bro is bald. Have you seen this shit? Bro is bald. Are we looking at the same video? Bro has no hair. Bro has no hair. Bro is bald. Baldy. Bald fuck. Bald boy. Bald bitch. Bro has zero hair. I just wanted to give him a taste of what I've been getting for 6 years. Okay, anyways.
The first thing on my list is going to be how generous the developers are for Wuthering Waves and how that impacts the new player experience.
Yeah.
The new player experience is going to be significantly better than it is for Genshin Impact for one simple reason. And that reason is Wuthering Waves gives you 3 free 5-star characters from the standard banner, as well as something like 30 free polls for the limited banner, if I remember right. Now, Genshin Impact just recently did a thing where you can also get a 5-star character of your choice from the...
Yeah, one of the 8 million year old characters that nobody wants to use. Oh man, I can't wait to pull my D-Luke and Chi-Chi in 2024. Man, that is so exciting. They essentially pulled an Asmongold and donated their garbage to charity. Hell no, ain't nobody want that shit, buddy.
Standard banner, but it's only a single character, and it took them over 4 years to add this to the game, and they never give out free 10 pulls. The main part of having fun in any gacha game is being able to play with...
Wait, does Genshin still not do a free 10 pull every patch? Do they actually not do that? I swear to God they did that. No? What the fuck? Wait, so ZZZ's doing it, Honkai Star Rail's doing it, Wu was doing it, but Genshin's not? Are you going to call me a bitch for that? Oh, I didn't say Genshin was good too. Oh my God, it's like all the 3 other games are actually trying and Genshin fucking isn't. Is that going to be your top comment now, you fucking retard? Jesus, these people are fucking dumb.
With characters that you like, and Wuthering Waves allows you to do that from the very beginning of the game. Kuro Games has honestly been so generous with what they've given us in Wuthering Waves that it's actually had like some kind of reverse psychology effect on me where I've actually ended up spending more money in the game than I would have otherwise.
Interesting.
And that's a perfect segue into my next point, which is the character and weapon banners. Now, Genshin Impact just recently introduced a change, coincidentally not long after Wuthering Waves came out, that made their character and weapon banners a little bit better. But the crazy thing is that even with the new changes, the banners still absolutely suck. When compared with the Wuthering Waves banners.
I mean, I can't tell you how dope it is in Wuthering Waves where when you pull a 5-star on the weapon banner, get this, guys, you get the weapon on the weapon banner. One of the best changes for any gacha game, and hopefully this leads other developers to do the same, because it's so pro-consumer, it's so fucking nice. Having to do, I want to remind you guys, the weapon banner used to not even have a pity system until... I don't know, some guy lost the 50-50 like 13 times in a row and then got China furious with the footage, and then they added it 2 weeks after. I don't know who did that, but it's a pretty cool change. And then, yeah, apparently they changed it once again, but even still, the game still needs a lot of work to be a little bit less predatory.
Wuthering Waves, the hard pity for a 5-star character is 80 pulls. And for me, usually I get a 5-star character sometime before 80 pulls, like usually in the soft pity, which I think is around 69. Which is a nice, even number.
Nice.
But the biggest thing personally for me is that the limited weapon banners are guaranteed. They are guaranteed at 80 pity. So that means no 50-50, no other unwanted weapons. You are getting the weapon that you want at or before 80 pulls every single time. And look, I know full well that gacha games in general are just a major ripoff, but these are the best and most generous banners that you're going to find in any gacha game that's out right now. And by definition, this also makes Wuthering Waves more free-to-play friendly. It's just an L for Genshin all the way around. Now, I'm going to have to break up this next part into several subcategories, but let's go through and see how Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact compare in terms of content and gameplay. So first thing I want to talk about is combat. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Genshin's combat very much. Genshin's elemental reaction system is super cool and it is really fun, but that is kind of all you get. The game is easy. And once you learn the elemental reactions, that's it. Enemies and bosses and mobs are just sponges for damage numbers.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real, bro. Like, people really want to act like the elemental interaction system is like this very dynamic, complex thing, and it's kind of just like, you mix the white and the blue and you get vaporize. You mix the blue and the light blue and you get freeze. And it's like, all right, are we really gonna act like it's this like innovating thing? What is in my room?
And you can just mindlessly grind it away. In Wuthering Waves,
Keyword mindless.
you have dodges, counterattacks, intro and outro skills, and a stagger bar for enemies. All of those elements in Wuthering Waves make the combat feel way more dynamic in every single fight.
Now, that being said, I'm not the advocate for the more complex your game is, the better it is. I don't believe that at all. Now, the problem is that of that same mentality, people go, yeah, dude, just because the game has more complex combat doesn't mean that it's better, right? It doesn't mean that. Like, I like casual games, and then those are the same people who will shit on Zenless Zone Zero for having too simple combat. So it's like, okay, well, which is it then?
Sometimes I actually have to think. And I know that can be a scary word, but trust me, it's worth it. So while I do acknowledge that it is possible for somebody to enjoy Genshin Impact's combat more, if anyone is to try and say that Genshin Impact's combat is just objectively better, that is just false. You can say that it is easier or that you enjoy it more, but that's about it. Okay, now let's move on to world exploration. This is an area where Wuthering Waves absolutely...
Wuthering Waves world exploration dominates Genshin Impact, and it's not even close. The grappling hook, the running up walls, the infinite stamina out of combat, how fast you move, God, it's so goddamn good. Especially with Shorekeeper's new butterfly mode, you go fast as fuck.
Blows Genshin Impact out of the water. You know the stupid and annoying stamina bar that you have in Genshin Impact that runs out after like 10 feet of sprinting? In Wuthering Waves, you can sprint to your heart's content with no stamina bar. You can also run up walls, double jump,
shit is so gangster.
Also, in the Wuthering Waves live stream for version 1.3, we just learned that they're adding even more quality of life and ways for world traversal when Black Shores releases. I literally feel so cringe now every single time that I'm playing Genshin and I run out of stamina while climbing a wall at the same pace that Joe Biden unsuccessfully climbs up a flight of stairs. And also in the same...
Oh, damn, bro. That shit is cringe as fuck. I ain't gonna cap, bro. Sleepy Joe catching pot shots from a fucking Genshin content creator, man. That is a new low.
Vein as world exploration is mining. Now, this is one of those really small things, but in my opinion, all of these small things do start to add up. But in Genshin Impact, when you're mining with any character that doesn't have a claymore, it feels like you are chiseling away at Mount Everest with a toothpick. But in Wuthering Waves, pretty much any character can break rocks with relative ease.
True.
Chun-Li, for example, can break rocks with one hit, and most of the other characters, with the exception of Rectifier users, can break them pretty quickly as well. Okay, so next up on my list is endgame content. If you've ever hit the endgame in Genshin,
this one's a big one.
You probably know that the endgame just consists of basically you just keep leveling your characters, grind artifacts, do your Spiral Abyss, and then you log back in for real when there's an actual story update. Now, I know they added that new mode recently, again, coincidentally, not long after Wuthering Waves came out, but it's only one more mode, and it's not that great. Now, in Wuthering Waves, you have the Tower of Adversity, the Elusive Realm, and Hologram bosses. The Tower of Adversity could admittedly use some changes, but that's basically your Spiral Abyss equivalent. The Elusive Realm is a roguelike mode, and honestly, in my opinion, it is absolutely incredible. And they add updates to it with every new iteration that just continuously keep making it better.
Yeah, they've been very continuous in making sure that shit stays up to date, which has been really nice.
Part of the game.
The holograms, I do agree, is the best part.
They essentially just...
It's a fight that's overtuned like fucking crazy, and if you beat it, you have bragging rights. It's so nice.
A tough challenge, which is something that just quite literally doesn't exist in Genshin. And part of the fun for the hologram bosses is actually just re-clearing them with different teams and different characters, just to see what you can do. And considering that Wuthering Waves just came out a few months ago, I would anticipate that there's going to be even more in-game content coming in the future. Now, I can go either way on this, but sometimes I don't want to read the story, and sometimes I just want to get back into the action. Well, guess what Wuthering Waves has that Genshin Impact does not? If
Fucking
you
skip
guessed
button,
a
baby.
story skip button, you would be correct.
Thank God.
Genshin players, myself included, have been asking for this for years. But in Wuthering Waves, if you're not in the mood to read, you don't have to. Simple as that. And in version 1.3 of Wuthering Waves, they are adding a new feature where when you do skip the dialogue, it's still going to give you a summary of what it is that you skipped so that you know what you missed.
And I think that's the best part of it all, is bullet points for what did this cutscene represent, what happened during this cutscene. And I think that's really good because a lot of gacha is dialogue bloat where you don't really need to read everything to understand everything that happened. So just a simple, you catch up with Gian, you make sure he's up to date on what's happening in the war, and then you leave, versus a 14-minute cutscene of you actually doing that, which I think it rewards people who pay attention, who don't need to see all that happen, and also rewards people who just aren't that interested and just want to get the cliff notes and move on. Nothing wrong with that.
Huge W from Kuro Games. Okay, so next, let's talk about the Echo system in Wuthering Waves versus the Artifact system in Genshin Impact. There's really not a whole lot to say with this comparison. Literally just everything about the Echo system in Wuthering Waves is better than the Artifact system in Genshin Impact. In Genshin, it is an endless grind, and at the end of that endless grind, you probably still won't have an artifact with the correct main stat that you want. Now, they did just add a new mechanic where you can get an artifact with the main stat that you want, but it takes months to do.
I believe it's one artifact every 3 months.
Do it for just one artifact, and then your substats are probably still gonna roll like shit.
Yeah, you can guarantee 2 subs that happen on it, but you still get 2 poor subs that you don't want on it. And it's a joke.
Wuthering Waves, on the other hand, incorporates open world exploration into its ecosystem, and there are game mechanics to where you can pretty regularly get these items called malleable echoes, which allow you to choose an echo with the main stat of your choice. And the fact that you can use your echoes in combat adds an entire extra layer of complexity. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot to compare here when talking about which system is better. And now, let's just talk about the devs. One thing that really stands out about Wuthering Waves is
that the Wuthering Waves actually want to hear feedback and implement it, whereas the Genshin Impact pretend they listen and they go on stage and they cry, saying how much everybody's a bully for wanting better for their game. It's a fucking joke.
Quickly Kuro Games responds to feedback. And they're kind of doing that out of necessity if you think about it, right?
Absolutely.
Because they know, and every other game developer knows, that they will not be able to get away with what Genshin Impact has done over the last 4 years.
Absolutely
Genshin
true.
Is a
That's a very good word that he's using, get away with. Genshin Impact has gotten away with doing the bare minimum for years. That DeWay thing pissed me the fuck off, bro. I'm not going to fucking lie, man. Seeing a multi-billionaire cry because people were a little bit upset with Genshin Impact, what a fucking joke. And the fact that people bought into that shit, it's just embarrassing.
Case, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but moving forward, the open world gacha space is expanding, and in order to compete for your game time and your money, the devs have to do better than the Genshin devs. Which admittedly is not hard to do at all. All right, so if you enjoyed this video,
good one, great video, and let's just not make sure to go subscribe to Solus. Great fucking video. I'm gonna subscribe to this shit as well. Genshin Impact's new model is why try when you can cry. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace, boys.